thank each and every one of you for being here, but I need to make sure where here is. Ma'am, can you help me? Is this Martin's Chapel Methodist Church?
Yes.
Good. We've achieved it. I have to ask because a couple of weeks ago I was speaking and I was halfway through my presentation. I thought things were going well. But a kind gentleman tapped me on the shoulder and said, Mr. Spafford, we hate to tell you this, but the church down the street is looking for you. You're in the middle of the bowling alley. I wondered why they made me change my shoes. Listen, at my age, you never take anything for granted. I can see a few of you are approaching that, right? Amen. By the way, everybody relax. Is this still a church where you say amen? Amen. In my era, everyone said it all the time. So if you feel like saying that today, you go right ahead. You go right ahead. It would make me feel at home. My name is Spafford. Horatio Spafford. S-P-A-F-F-O-R-D. And I know what about half of y'all are thinking. My, what an ugly name. I see you smiling, right? Well, you know what? My beloved mother and father gave it to me. It sort of grew on me, so I think I'll keep it. I think I'll keep it. Now, that song you just heard, It Is Well With My Soul. If you enjoyed that growing up, or it was special to someone that you loved, would you raise your hand? Hold it up. Everybody look around. These songs are more than words and tunes, aren't they? They're more than words and tunes. After seeing all those hands, I'm really happy to be here. You know why? I wrote it. I wrote It As Well With My Soul. Now, ironically enough, it's the only song I'm associated with. Do you know why? Does anyone, by the way, everybody relax, okay? We're going to have a give and forth today. You can answer these questions. Do you know why I'm only associated with that song? It's my only song. I'm not a songwriter. I'm not a singer. I'm not a poet. Guess what? I'm a lawyer by training. There's always one in the crowd. There's always one in the crowd. I spoke last night at a wonderful ceremony, and a sweet, kind lady on the first row hissed at me. You know what? When you're a lawyer, though, you're used to the territory. No skin off my nose. I hear it all the time. The looks, the sayings. By the way, why won't sharks bite lawyers? Does anyone know? Why won't sharks bite lawyers? Professional courtesy. I told you I knew some lawyers right there. No, I am a trained lawyer. I want to share some things with you today that might make you help understand the song a little better. Things from my life. First and foremost, I gave my heart to the Master at a very early age. I can always remember I had a burning desire to learn and live His teachings. Let me give you an example, my favorite verse. Let your light shine so that all might see your good deeds and glorify the Father in heaven. Amen? Amen. Amen forever. But did you know, trying to live out that little verse, I was labeled a radical. A radical. Radical indeed. Man, you look like a fine judge of character, and you look like I just scared you half to death. Let me straighten up for you. Do I look radical to you? Of course not. A big night for me is eating 2 bowls of ice cream instead of 1. Okay, I'm one of the most boring, bland people you will ever meet.
You do look like a mom.
Well, thank you. But have you ever noticed how people love to label you? People will label you outcast, misfit, kook. Anybody that's a little different, people will label you. You know what I had to learn in my life? Don't live down to the labels of men. just live up to the teachings of Christ.
Amen.
You know what? They never steer me wrong. They never steer me wrong. Now I do claim one lady. Forgive it. Forgive it. Let's see, what's something else I can share with you? Oh, I do want you to know this. On the count of 3, I'm going to get y'all to help with this one, okay? On the count of 3, I would love for you to say the name Anna Larson. Can everyone clearly hear me? Anna Larson on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Anna Larson.
Let's do that a little bit louder this time. 1, 2, 3.
Anna Larson.
You're pretty close to me. Can you tell I still blush just a little bit when I do that? That's the lovely lady God had me for to share my wife with. Anna became my wife. Now, here's the funny thing. I always thought I'd marry the girl next door. Did anyone do that here? I always thought I'd marry the girl next door. Well, not quite. Anna was from Norway. Can you believe it? That frozen ice cube of a country, and here I like hot weather. Anna snow skied and did everything I skated, and I'd sit and clap. That's about my extent of the winter sports. But what a lovely and gracious and kind lady. She was just a tremendous lady of God. Have y'all ever been around someone that when they came in the room, people just gravitated toward her? Have y'all ever met someone like that? That was Anna. Just so gracious and kind. I've been speaking to young people lately. And they say, Brother Horatio, the way you speak about Miss Anna means you married up. Have y'all ever heard that phrase? I agree. I did marry up. I see a lot of fellas here today. If you agree with me that you married up also, would you raise your hand?
Yes, raise your hand.
Let me help you out with this. Your hand better be up as high as it can. It's waving like the American flag. Or you might need a lawyer. You might need a lawyer. But I did marry up. She meant so much to me. We soon married and we moved to the city, where I'm not bragging on myself, okay? Maybe just a little bit. I became the youngest and fastest lawyer to make full partner in a law firm. And I attributed that to being a godly lawyer. Yes, sir, it is possible before you say so. That was the one that spoke up earlier. Do you remember when I said learn and live the teachings of Christ? When you take the name Christian, it is great to be a Christian here, right here in Martin's Chapel, United Methodist Church, okay? But once you step outside these doors, you're a Christian. You're a Christian in your home, in your community, and for the sake of God, you be a Christian at work. You're really, for some people, the only scripture and the only Bible they'll ever see. The way I look at it is this. If you take the name Christian and you don't live it out, you're taking the Lord's name in vain. Have you ever thought of it that way? So I made a vow at work I was going to treat each person I came in contact with dignity, courtesy, honesty, and respect. You know, it worked. It worked. Whenever I went into court, I never viewed anyone as an enemy or an opponent. They were just my friends with a different viewpoint. And I indeed got pretty good at changing views. Matter of fact, 3 of our biggest clients came to us after being in the courtroom on the other side of us and said, Mr. Spafford was kinder to me than my own lawyer. Can you imagine? You know what? Living the way God wants you to live. We don't do it to earn things, but you would be stunned the blessings that flow back to you when you show people kindness. Let's see now. I've told you about work. I've told you about Anna. How about my church? Anna and I were one of the 10 founding members for the Fullerton Church. Have y'all ever heard of our church? Oh, I love that place. So I'm fixing to share with you. We were one of the very first churches. We did indeed we had a small building, but we were one of the first churches we would meet and celebrate, and then we would go out in the community that very Sunday. We'd take food to the hungry, medicine to the sick, and clothes to the needy. Because we thought that's what the Master would do. And do you know, within 3 years, we had grown to 1,000 members. And they were not members in name only or a place to show up and be a social gathering. When you came to Fullerton, you were expected to catch the Fullerton fire. And that's to join in and to do things for God. What a feeling it is to have a family that does that. Matter of fact, I love Fullerton so much, I didn't even call it my church. I called it my home. My Fullerton home. I hope that's how y'all feel right here. This is home on Sunday, isn't that a good feeling? Do you know I wrote the motto for our church? Who wants to hear the motto for Fullerton Church that I wrote? Great, 4 people. Who wants to? I'm proud of this motto. Who wants to hear my motto? Go all the way around the world, but come home to Fullerton. Not bad for a lawyer, is it? Should I have gone into advertising? Same thing? My goodness. So that's my church. Let's see, I've told you about Anna, my work, and my church. Seems like there's one other thing I need to share with you. I'm getting so old. Is anybody else? What's something else I need to think about? It's song, something else. I'm just funny with you. There is no way at all I could forget those 4 blonde-headed, curly-headed, beautiful girls that look just like Anna. Amen? Amen. You said that a little bit too quick, man. The girls look like Anna. You're right. I'm glad they look like Anna. They look like China dolls. Let's see, there was Anna, Maggie, Elizabeth, baby Eddie. The youngest one of all, 2 years old and just as curly-headed as she could be. They said the Spafford home was full of curls and giggles. And you know what? Most of the giggles were at my expense. Because I had grown up with brothers and ball-throwing, dirt-digging cousins and boys all up and down the street. I had no idea what lay in store for me with living with ladies. All right, I need some experts in here. Who grew up with a lot of sisters? Who grew up with a lot of sisters? How many did you have, sir?
Somewhere around 8.
You know, sometimes when you ask questions, you are surprised by that. You just say, now my hearing's a little bit, but you say somewhere around 8.
There's probably 4 of them in here today, or 3 or 4.
That might be the most favorite answer I've ever had. Somewhere around 8. Did anyone else have a lot of sisters? Anyone through here? Anybody? How many did you have, sir?
1.
Okay. Hey, an average of like 4.5.
Yeah, you can round that up.
Well, you're my expert, sir. Whenever you're in a home with a lot of ladies, what is the #1 problem? Restaurant.
We didn't have a bathroom, I don't think.
Wow! That would be a problem. But this gentleman's right. Not enough bathrooms. We had one bathroom, and there were many a day where I stood in the hallway with a straight razor, trying my best with lukewarm water to get ready for work because that last little girl was working on that last little girl. You know what? I didn't mind. There were days when I came home from doing $1 million land deals, and I would be escorted off to a small room with a small table and an even smaller chair, and I was given a cup of tea. I see a lot of y'all nod. And for the next hour, I had to hear about cotillions and ball gowns and homework and boys, and you know what? I love that too. I love that too. Would you hold that for me, man? Thank you. you guess what my girl's favorite thing to do? What is their favorite thing to do? Who wants to guess?
Playing with dogs.
Play with dolls. What'd you
Tea
say?
parties.
Tea parties. What else? You know what? I'd come home sometime from work, and those little girls, they would have their ball gowns on. And they'd have their hair up to about here, and they'd take their little shoes off. And the next thing you know, all around the house we would go, just dancing the afternoon away. And Anna was right behind me saying, "Watch my lamp pro show, watch me go." And we laughed and laughed and laughed. And I told each one of those little girls I was practicing because I was going to get the second dance in each one of their weddings. I remember Margaret looking up at me and saying, "Daddy, I'm only 8. I needed a lot of practice. And I loved every minute of it. I did. Oh, they were so special. Would you say things were going well in the Spafford household? Would you?
Yeah.
It was. Matter of fact, it was going so well that we were going to take a long vacation in Europe. Now listen to this. Anna was excited because her people from Norway were going to meet with us and they were going to see those girls for the first time. The girls were excited. They were going to go to every dress shop in France and every candy store in Switzerland. My wallet felt that. Now, I was excited because it was going to be a working vacation for me. I was going to do all that with them, but I was also going to be working for Pastor D.L. Moody as he started the European revival. Has anybody ever heard of D.L.? What a firebrand. Last time I talked to him, he told me he was going to start a Bible Institute in all places of Chicago. Can you believe that? D.L. and I went way back. Matter of fact, when we met, he was a part-time pastor. And we asked him to start coming to our breakfasts, our prayer breakfasts we were having. We started with less people than this. Within a few months of D.L. being there, we grew to 500, 600, 700 men. But we didn't just gather to eat. We would do things in the community, just like Fullerton Church. We would pay bills off. We would just do all kinds of things. What Christians should do with their blessings, right? We don't hoard them. We share them. You did hear me say D.L. was a part-time pastor when I met him, right? What job was, you'll like this, what job was D.L. Moody doing before he became a full-time pastor? Does anyone know? Anyone want to guess? Lawyer, teacher, anyone else? Ma'am, you look like a good judge of fashion. Why are you laughing? You know what I'm here about this. Do you like my shoes? You do? She likes my shoes. Let me get back here. Can y'all see them? See my shoes? The last pair of shoes D.L. Moody sold as a shoe salesman. God can use old lawyers. He can use shoe salesmen. And He can use everyone in this church today for His kingdom. Don't you dare doubt that. Your life's not over. I firmly believe until you get your first hug in heaven, there's something here to do.
Amen.
There is something here to do. Oh, we all think of big things, don't we? Don't forget the shut-in that can't come to church anymore. Have you sent them a note lately? What about your sick neighbor that can't get out much anymore? Can you maybe shop for him or take his mail to the door? And for goodness sakes, you just had a blessing beyond measure. Just go into this other room. Those kids, always remember to teach them Jesus loves me. Jesus loves me. Big thanks to God. Big thanks. Well, it came time for us to leave on our vacation, and things were in such a tizzy. You know how it is with children. And as I went into work my last few days before leaving on vacation, I went in, and on the conference board it said, Horatio Spafford, Conference Room A. Oh my goodness. Our main boardroom where big decisions were made. And as I went in, the boss put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Now, Horatio, try not to get mad when you hear what's said today." Can I give you a hint? If somebody says that to you, you're probably going to get mad. You're probably going to get mad. And as I went in, they said, "Spafford, we hate to break you this, vacation's canceled." Canceled? I had just made the last down payment on the ship for tickets for all of us on the Ville de Havre. Okay? The finest ship built at the time. It was one of the first ships. Oh, what did you call it when you push that thing with the stick? What's that called? Shuffleboard. They had that. They had chefs on this ship to cook, to order meals. And my goodness, they would even take your clothes and wash them if you wanted to. Have you ever heard anything like that? The tickets were outlandish, all right? Anna was fierce, but here's my thing. The way I make plans, I wanted to do something where the girls would have something they could tell their grandkids about something they did with old Pop and Granny Spafford. I think that was a good reason, don't you? So I bought the ticket, didn't even tell Anna. That was a mistake. But she came around after a while. And now they're telling me my vacation's canceled. What do good lawyers do? Well, first of all, let me tell you why they canceled. I was the lead attorney on one of the largest land deals in the history of our country. It involved the federal, state, local government, and 22 private firms. And I'd made a big mistake. I was the spokesman for every meeting we'd ever had. I should have let others join in. We had 22 lawyers on the case. But for some reason, a lot of people thought I was the one that knew all the details. Especially the private firm said, "Spafford started it, he's got to be here to sign it." So that was the problem there. But I did get upset. What do lawyers do? I want to help you out with this. What do lawyers do when they get upset? Does anybody know?
Pout.
Pout. I've seen that before. Anybody else? Argue. Wait a minute. I think I just heard
Bark.
What? Somebody just say something over here?
Sue.
Frank.
Sir, who do you think I am? Bart Durham? Now guys like him will sue. No. Good lawyers renegotiate. But let me give you this hint. Anger is your enemy, and it all swells up in us sometimes. Pray to God that you can fight and hold back anger, because bad decisions are made out of anger. No, I renegotiated, and I even renegotiated with my own bosses. Let's see how it turned out. I agreed I didn't have to stay, but I was only going to stay 2 weeks no matter what. The governor and the mayor, if they signed it, it was good enough for me. So after 2 weeks, I had to stay. I had to leave. They gave me a ticket, but it wasn't on the Ville de Havre. It was on the worst, cheapest ship they could find. Matter of fact, I think I was even going to have to work my way across shoveling coal. They got me on that one, didn't they? They got me on it. I got that. I asked for a huge bonus to stay. Here's you another hint. When you're negotiating, always ask for double. That way, when they cut it in half, what do you get?
What you want.
You get what you want. Do you know what? They were so embarrassed they didn't negotiate. They gave me the full sum. It was going to be like I was going to be paid to work for DLE. Amen? And I asked for one more thing. I said, please let me go and take my family to the train station that will take them to the dock to get on the Ville de Havre. And they did. I remember that day at the train station so well. So well. It is crowded here today, man. Do you know where train 4 is? Is it that way? I see it. Margaret Sarah Spafford. Get your head back in that train window. Spafford girls do not hang out of trains. I assure you of that. What? No, old daddy won't work this time. What? It's like I love each and every one. I see all 4 of y'all. I'll prove it to you. Look, the ribbons in your hair. Red, green, yellow, and pink. Right, new glasses. It'll be okay, girls will be okay. It'll just be 2 weeks. Remember, your dad was in the United States Army. I can take care of myself. Well, I will be eating out of cans, that's right. It'll be okay. It's just 2 weeks. You're trying to strike. I can barely hear you girls. Why are you crying? Why? I don't have Dolly. Mama's got your Dolly. Double check. I do have Dolly. I've got it. Daddy promises you. I'll take it in 2 weeks and I'll put it in your hand, okay? In 2 weeks. Brothers and sisters, that was the last time I saw my little girls this side of heaven. We didn't know. No weather reports, no radar, no sonar. By the way, have you ever thanked God for little things like that we have? And little did we know that the Bill-DeHar, as it left the dock, was headed right straight for a gale storm. The wind, the rain, the waves were horrible, but the worst problem of all, the middle of the night, 100% fog. Everyone hold your hand in front of it right now. They could not see their hand in front of it. The other main problem, the container ship Loch Hearn, 3 times the size of the Bill-DeHar, was so close. So close, and at 2 in the morning, not only did it hit the Bill-DeHar, it cut it in 2. In 10 minutes, they were gone. The only spapper to come out of the water that night was my beloved wife, Anna. Now, have you ever gotten news so bad that you didn't even believe it? I was at work, they came to me, they said, Horatio, this ship is sank. I went, no way. Brand new ship. But they were right. Then I thought of the Navy motto. Any Navy guys here? Remember the Navy motto, women and children first. They saved all the kids and the ladies. But it didn't hit me till I got one of the most famous telegrams I've ever seen. Saved alone. What to do? Anna. Here I am, a high-priced lawyer. I didn't know what to do. This is where a good church comes in. God's people. Fullerton Church got me on the next ship and even sent 2 deacons with me to get to Anna. Now this is the part of my testimony I'd sort of like to gloss over and not tell you because it doesn't make me look good. But can I share, when you share your testimony, tell it all. That's where God shines through. And it's not about me. It's about Him. For as I went on that ship and down in it, not only did I go down physically, I went down spiritually and mentally. I was so sick of people coming up to me and saying, it's going to be okay. I'm praying for you. But the worst one of all, I know how you feel. No, you don't. You don't. Maybe sometimes we ought to just say we're here. We care. After 3 days, the captain called me up ship. Do you know, even if you're not in the Navy, you have to do what a captain says when you're on his ship? Did y'all know that? I didn't know that, and I'm a liar. You learn something new every day. I'm so glad I went up. It was daybreak, and as I got up, the captain put his hand on my shoulder and said, Horatio, you're at the spot of the accident. And as I looked around in my mind, the storm was still there, and in my heart, the storm was still there. But as I looked around, it was smooth as glass. with the sun coming up with colors just indescribable. If you've ever been on the ocean, when the sun comes up, those colors shoot out in every direction for miles, and they look like ribbons. And guess what color I saw that? Red, green, pink. Yeah. The same colors that was in my girl's hair. Words started coming to me at that same moment. Sea billows roll, no matter your lot, it's well. It's well with your soul. You know what? I didn't feel that way. Aren't you glad God's love does not depend on your feelings? He's always there. You glad I wrote those words down? I am too. Now, Anna was different. When I got to Anna, she was catatonic. She couldn't speak anything. She just wanted me to hold her. You know what? That's okay. People suffer in different ways. Do y'all realize that? Not everyone suffers the same way. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes people never get over things. But God will do it through it. And that's okay too. She just wanted me to hold her, and all the way across, I just kept telling her, He's with us always. He's with us always. You do realize that. Christians suffer. We believe. We lose our way. We lose our testimony. We lose families, homes, and even little children. You just don't do it alone. He's with us always. We got back to America, and here's Fullerton Church again. You know what they'd already done for me, right? Guess what? So I could stay with Anna. They came and they would do all my yard work. They brought us food every day. Christians are good with food, aren't they? Anybody here ever sang in a choir? You raise your hand, anybody? Let me tell you what their choir did. They divided up by fours. And they would take turns, and they would come and sit on the porch and softly sing her songs. And you know what? With a little bit of time and a little bit of soothing, we were back in church. And within about a year, are you ready for this? The birth of beautiful Bertha Spafford. One of the loudest kids you've ever heard in your life. Is anyone here, did you have loud kids? Praise the Lord for that. Oh, you are one? Praise the Lord for loud kids. You know what? It's just what Anna needed. The color came back in her face. And oh my. Now, within another year. Are you ready for this, man? Are you sure? Let me straighten up. The birth of Horatio Jr. I know what you're thinking. I know exactly what you're thinking, ma'am. I did not name him that ugly name. Anna, that was Anna's idea. But you know what? I loved it. I loved it, Junior. And he was loud too. Oh my goodness. I don't know if our neighbors loved our kids, but we sure did. Anna actually had bought him a suit just like mine, and he was so feisty, she'd taught him to prance around the house saying, "I object! I object! Your Honor, Your Honor!" Oh, it was so funny. One day, Bertha was holding the dog and the cat, and Horatio was trying to negotiate a peace treaty. He looked up at me and said, "Daddy, what's next?" I said, "Bill them both." Bill them both, son. We are lawyers. At breakfast that day, Anna said, "Horatio, do you know what? There's your law partner. When he grows up, y'all are just going to work together. I just know it." Would that have been something? Can you see that sign hanging out of our window? Spafford and Spafford, attorneys at law. Oh my goodness. Wouldn't that have been something? It would have been. It would have been, brothers and sisters. But both of my children contracted scarlet fever. The death sentence in our day. I say every time I speak, I will not get emotional. But isn't it amazing how things could happen 40 or 50 years ago, just flood right back on home? And let me make this perfectly clear. Little Bertha, that strong, loud girl, she pulled through. She struggled to walk and breathe the rest of her life, but little Bertha made it. Not so with Jimmy. Little did we know that the outfit Anna ordered for him is what we would bury him. And with that, Anna went darker and deeper than she had ever been. We were out of church again, and it's almost like we were forgotten. Every now and then somebody would check on us. Every now and then someone would bring a meal. But Anna kept saying, something's wrong, Horatio, something's wrong, something's different. I played it off as part of her illness. Until one night we heard this. And as I opened the door, it was our church leadership. The Fullerton church leadership. Oh, gentlemen, come in. Coffee, tea? They said, no, Horatio, this is a spiritual visit, not a social one. Can you ask Bertha to leave the room? My goodness. Okay. She had left the room, and they were there. They presented me with a letter that night. With your permission, I do have the letter. I will read it one time and one time only. Is that okay?
Yeah.
To the Spackers, we, the leadership of the Fullerton Church, do hereby request that you stand before the church body this upcoming Sunday morning and openly confess to the sins that you are committing that are killing your children. No, sir, I'm not. That's why I would only read it one time. I regret to this day the things I said. I did not live like Jesus wanted me to that night. I've been reading in John chapter 9. Would y'all check that tonight? Do you remember where Jesus and the disciples were passing by the temple and there was a blind man sitting there? Y'all remember that? Notice how cruel the disciples were. He was blind. He wasn't deaf. This man heard this. And they said, Jesus, what did he do to earn that? Look at him. Blind. What did he do? Or what's more important, Jesus? What did his mother or father do? We probably know. He earned that, didn't he, Jesus? Our master was there. Don't you know? Don't you realize our master says the greatest things? He always says the correct thing. He told the disciples, no. You don't know God's mind. And you don't know that man. The things that have happened to him might happen because in the future he will glorify God. And with that, you'll remember Jesus walked over and restored that man. Restored his sight, and he was whole. And he became one of the greatest witnesses ever for Jesus' did. That night they shattered our lives. We never stepped into Fullerton Church again. It was like losing 1,000 people. Now, who did I ask earlier if I was a little bit radical? Who did I ask? Did I ask you that? Maybe I am. We got so mad I resigned from my firm. We sold our home and a few friends with us moved. But when we moved to Jerusalem. It was good enough for the master. It was good enough for me. Really. 2 reasons why we moved. No medicine for depression at this time. They told me to get Anna to a hot climate. And also the song. You all remember the song, It Is Well With? Became a big hit. And people were coming up to me saying, Mr. Spacker, may I have your autograph? Which was okay with me. But they'd also ask Anna, oh, Mr. Spacker, aren't you the mother of all those dead kids? Now, what was their names? I know people don't mean it sometimes, but we really need to guard what we say, don't we? Each time that was said to Anna, back she would go. She couldn't take it. So we moved somewhere where nobody knew us. I guarantee you nobody knew us in Jerusalem. We bought a dilapidated building and named it the American Colony Hotel. A better name than the building, I assure you. We held hands that day, y'all remember this? And we prayed that we would treat everyone with dignity, courtesy, honesty, and respect. And it worked. Very unique over there. Remember, Islamic people, Jewish people, non-believers, and they were all sickening, except at the Colony Hotel. Guess what else we did? We opened a children's home. Bertha and Anna kept feeding kids and kept giving them rooms to stay in. And finally I said, well, what do y'all want to do? Open a children's home? And Bertha said, oh, Daddy, what took God so long to tell you that? He told me months ago. I didn't have the heart to tell her I was being sarcastic. So we bought another old building, fixed it up, and opened a children's home. We didn't segment anyone that said they needed help. We took care of it. We even opened the hospital during the Great War. We closed the hotel. Listen to this, didn't even have a doctor or nurse to start with. What kind of hospital is that? A good one. We put the call out, and doctors, Christian doctors, came from all over the world, and we ran the finest hospital in the Middle East. Amen? That's a God thing. Let me share. Can I share one more story with you? Do I have time? 1948, the rebirth of Israel. The Bible said it was going to happen. Nobody believed it. But it happened. And we were in Jerusalem, right in the middle of the city. But the day Israel declared independence, listen to this, 12 countries attacked them. Did you know that? They fought off 12 countries at once. The bullets were flying, the bombs, and guess what? We were embargoed in our building. Could not get in, could not get out, running out of food, running out of water. And then we had 2 workers die. You can't bury just anyone anywhere in Jerusalem. We as Gentiles had to get to the Gentile cemetery and bury these 2 people. The fighting, I didn't know what to do. Guess what? It was Bertha. She picked up the phone and called the Palestinian leadership. How do you do that during a war? And she said, can you help us bury our dead from the Spafford Center? And they said, well, sure. Y'all have been so kind to us. You fed our children. You passed out medicine. We will help you. But you know those Jews won't help us. And she said, I'll get back to you on that. And she hung up. Then she picked the phone up and she called the head Israeli general in the middle of the war. How do you do that? Has anybody here called the Pentagon lately? Anybody? She got ahead of the head general. Can you help us bury our dead from the Spafford? Of course. You recognized us before we were even a country. You helped our orphans. You helped our widows. But you know those Arabs won't help us. She said, I'll get back to you on that. You know, it was not the UN. It was not the United States of America. Bertha Spafford negotiated a 3-hour peace treaty to allow our dead to be buried. Now, as we lined up, the bullets were still flying. This was going to be a faith matter. Our gates swung open. And with our very first step, the whole city fell silent. For about a minute as we started. But then people started coming out from behind the boarded up windows. And nailed shut doors. They started coming. This is a song. Then they started singing, some in English, some in Hebrew, some in Arabic. It was echoing off the ancient stones of Jerusalem and the walls. Same streets are masterful. It is. We're going on a little farther and look. Over there, Ahmed and Jafar. The Palestinian soldiers stood up and came out of their foxholes and took their helmets off. That was some of the kids from the Spafford's Children's Home. I recognize it. And as we went farther, our procession, we kept hearing that song, and we had our ceremony. We turned around and came this way, and look over here. This song, and David, the Israeli army, stood up, came out from behind their barricades and foxholes, and stood there with their helmets over their chests. They too had participated at the children's home. They were humming the song. We heard it all the way back to the compound. And then as we entered, the gates closed. The bullets once again started to fly. We longed for the day when that last flag would be folded. And that last mother of three. One day. One day. Let me see. Let me look at your clock. Add 1, 2, 4, divide by... I'm a lawyer. I'm not good at math, but if I'm about right, they're sitting down now for dinner at the Spafford's Children's Home. Did I not tell you it's still open? And last year, they helped 50,000 kids. The largest show of help in all of Israel. And it's still open. Now, let's see if this old man can hold this together. How many kids did I lose that night of the terrible storm? To this day, I have 4 great grandkids that are still working at the Spafford's Children's Home. And they're not there in name only. They're serving. They're feeding. They're clothing. Matter of fact, they're letting their light shine so that all might see their good deeds and glorify the Father in heaven. That verse is still alive, and it's just as meaningful as the day Jesus said it. It's the very end. Now, I don't know what storms of life you're going through. I have no idea at all. But I've heard it say you're either going into a storm or coming out of one. My prayer for you today is this: that I hope you clearly hear the voice of God as He leans down in your ear and says, "It's well. It's well with your soul."